notice to attend at this short but, in our view, important press briefing. Of course, we are faced with the ugly and frightening prospect of the coronavirus affecting the Gambia. Because of this, it behooves all of us to stand by and support the government of the Gambia in its efforts to contain this pandemic. We must all adhere to the preventive measures put in place by the relevant authorities. We as a party will work with the government of the Gambia to combat the spread of the pandemic. However, we wish to join the rest of the world to express our grave concern about the rapid spread of the coronavirus. With the declaration of the outbreak as a global pandemic last week by the World Health Organization, the Gambia needs a proactive, decisive, and forward-looking strategy to deal with this global menace. Although there has been no reported cases of coronavirus in the Gambia, we are aware that there are several cases reported in neighboring Senegal that has warranted the putting in place of strict public health measures, such as closing of schools for at least 3 weeks. The UDP urges the government of the Gambia to convene a meeting of stakeholders and set up a national emergency response team comprised of relevant government departments, local government authorities, and non-governmental organizations, public health partners in the country, to assess our health infrastructure's preparedness to address any potential outbreak, testing, screening capacity, availability of protective medical supplies for frontline healthcare providers, continued public health awareness campaigns to educate the population on preventive measures and mitigate the spread of false information about the virus, ensure availability of water and hand washing stations at public places. Should there be any confirmed case or cases in the Gambia, at minimum, we need to implore the public to limit gatherings to decrease the risk of the spread of the virus in our communities. The consequences of this global pandemic is more than just a public health crisis. It has affected every sector of the world's economy as countries scramble to design stringent measures to contain the spread of the virus. The UDP encouraged the government to implement policies and measures to adequately prepare for the economic consequences of the pandemic. The economic fallout for the Gambia is likely to be severe and long-lasting due to our high debt burden and heavy dependence on foreign imports. Since the Gambia relies heavily on imported foods and other goods, the UDP is concerned about a potential food shortage and increase in prices of other commodities. We urge the government to have consultations with the business community and other relevant authorities to assess the potential impact on food importation, design measures to address any potential food shortage crisis, assess the financial impact on the Gambia Revenue Authority and tourism sector, and formulate appropriate policies to address all these potential fallouts. The United Democratic Party urges the media fraternity to partner with the government and civil society to ensure that education awareness on coronavirus reaches the masses. Members of the public are advised to heed the messages shared by the Minister of Health, WHO, and other health professionals on curbing the spread of the virus, such as proper hand washing with soap, avoiding close contact with sick individuals, and staying home and getting medical attention if not feeling well. The United Democratic Party, through our National Assembly members, mayors and chairmen of local government authorities, is ready to and will stand by and support the government of the Gambia with any interventions and measures to deal with the pandemic and alleviate its economic consequences. We cannot afford to get this one wrong. I have personally made arrangements for the installation by members of the youth wing of the party of 16 hand-washing stations in the greater Banjul area to promote WHO's the Harsh Safe Hands Challenge. I believe this will go a long way in preventing the spread of the virus. As we call on all Gambians of faith to pray for the Gambia and the world at large, for the Almighty to curb the spread of this deadly virus, the United Democratic Party seizes this opportunity to congratulate HE President Adama Barrow, President of the Gambia, for his decision to address the nation on this very important and crucial national issue this evening. Gentlemen and ladies of the press, I thank you for your attendance and hope that with your assistance, this message will be disseminated and reach the quarters that is supposed to reach. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Do you guys have a few questions pertaining to the statement read by the party leader? We can entertain a few questions because this is a global pandemic. It has ramifications beyond economics to health and human life. I think as the media fraternity, you are in the business of spreading the messages of our leaders. It would be useful if you have any pertinent questions. Yes, sir.
My name is from Kerr. That question will go to the section of the PDP. The Gambia is taking this case and so far, and the virus is just near around because Senegal has just a rise to 24 cases from 4. What advice do you have for the Gambia to this analysis
Well, I hold the view that even though the Gambia is a sovereign state, independent, and it has its own borders with Senegal, but yet having regard to the location of Gambia being in the heart of Senegal, you cannot strictly say that the virus is not in the Gambia, because what is in the Gambia, what is in Senegal certainly is in the Gambia. So what I would suggest, what I am imploring the government to do, is to take the necessary measures to ensure that the spread of virus is contained, that we have enough screening centers, and in fact that's why I've called on the assessment of our health infrastructures so as to determine the level of our preparedness to deal with any reported cases. And I hope that the authorities will not conceal any case that is proven that is proved to be in the Gambia.
Yes, sir.
I have just a from this. My follow-up question would be in relation to the government opening the borders of Gambia and Senegal 24 hours? Is it advisable at this very moment?
Well, yes, ordinarily, the borders between the Gambia and Senegal should be open for 24 hours. But then, when circumstances demand that we should really be strict in receiving people from affected areas, because that is one of the ways that you can prevent and contain the spread of the virus. I mean, that will not be an act that will be undermining good neighborliness. In fact, it will be protecting both countries, because if the Gambia and Senegal will become affected, and one of them is not in a better position to contain and combat the virus, the likelihood of it spreading back into Senegal or in other can happen. So I would, if certainly the situation warrants it, I would support the close of the border, and that will be for good reason.
Yes, madam.
Yes, my name is Milena. My question basically is going related to what you just said. People passing through the borders are really complaining about not having space in the borders. What do you think should be done?
Well, now that it has become quite apparent to our authorities and everybody in the Gambia that the virus, the disease is just across the border, and we should really have screening facilities at all our entry points. It should just not be at the airport. We should have it at Karang, we should have it at Siliti, we should have it Kerr, we should have it in Basel, Wellinger area, Senoba. We should have it at all these entry points. The unfortunate thing is that our borders are so porous that you can enter into the Gambia, not through the recognized entry point, and that makes our own situation a little bit difficult. But nonetheless, the majority of those who come to the Gambia from outside pass through one of these border entry points. So we would suggest to the government that it should really put up screening facilities in these places. Not only that, but also quarantine, facilities to quarantine any person found to be coronavirus positive.
Yes, sir.
If your statement is anything to go by, I believe I heard you saying in case if there is any
Case.
Confirmed cases.
any confirmed case, let the government declare, at least let the government declare for public gathering to be minimized. Do you think we, as a country, we have to wait to such a scenario by, for instance, in Senegal, Gambia being covered by Senegal in all its three parts, only the river, only the ocean, meaning we are already in Senegal. You said whatever Senegal faces, it's like Gambia also face the same thing. Don't you think the government also should declare some of these things like close of schools, temporary close of schools, public gathering, among others, as business is going as usual in the country?
Well, yes, that would be one of the preventive measures that should be taken. And of course, the president is addressing the nation this evening. And I believe we should wait to hear, what is going to be the content of his address to the nation. You are right, one doesn't have to wait for confirmed cases. For me, confirmation of case in Senegal is sufficient for the Gambia because of the geographical location of the two countries. And this is the reason why the United Democratic Party did not wait for any government decision to suspend or to order for gatherings, not to be held. So that's why we decided to suspend all our political activities. We will not have, even at the level of the bureaus, we will not have gatherings of more than 20 people, even in our bureaus. We prohibit that. So we have taken that initiative, and I hope also that the government will support our initiative by making declaration, because we have no control over any dairas that may want to organize their gamma. We have no control over them. We have no control over any group of people who might want to stage some kind of activity that will attract crowd. We have no control over them. We have only control, and when you say control, it's not coercive control. It's being in charge. We cannot have that over our party, the United Democratic Party. That is why we issued a statement advising that all our political activities should be suspended. Those who have control over dairas, can, issue a similar statement. The Syrians, they tell their Talibans that, look, hold on until we know the situation, until we are in a position that we can really prevent the spread of this disease, even if crowds gather. So that is my answer to your question. I hope that is satisfactory.
Follow-up question from the lady.
You as a political party has taken this big step in combating this virus. What other advice do you have for other political parties?
No, again, as I say, I don't want to be presumptuous, to advise any political party what to do. We have taken these decisions, and we are doing things because we feel that this is the right thing to do, and I want to believe that all other political parties will also decide to do things that they think is right, in the current circumstances. But I believe that I want to convince myself that no political party will encourage huge gatherings at this time. I want to convince myself about that.
So far, what you personally do, what you've been hearing in relation to government stand on this particular disease or pandemic as well, do you think Zambia is on the right footing to face in case if we have any victim of it?
Well, I'm not too sure whether we are as properly equipped as other countries. That is why I'm making the appeal to the government to have an assessment of our health infrastructures, on our preparedness, on our ability to handle the situation. I am sure there is the will. I'm sure there is the will to really contain this pandemic. What I'm not too sure of is whether, we have the wherewithal. I've not read the story, but I see that one of the headlines, I think in the Standard, that $60 billion is received to help the government's economy on this virus. I've not yet read the stories, because sometimes the headline doesn't match, the stories don't match the headlines. So, but then there is that, yes.
My final question. Yesterday, the Minister of Finance have said that the country will at least lose nothing less than $1 billion, which from level, which 1 as someone who have been in such high position, what do you advise the government to do?
Well, I would advise that there be a proper assessment, because that's what we have said, that we want to assess the impact of this, because it's not just a public health crisis; it is also an economic crisis.
Yes.
We want to have a proper assessment, because the minister has stated this, but then maybe with a more profound and deeper assessment, probably the figures might not be what he has said. But then we can be sure that it's going to have a negative impact on our economy. That is why I'm saying that, look, let us get consultations with the business community, so that we do not face food shortages. We want to make sure that what we have imported, that there is no re-export of that. Because if your source, you can no longer import from your source, and what you have here, you want to make profit out of it by exporting it to other countries, you really will be creating a food crisis in the country. So I think these are some of the measures that I think the government should put in place. Have consultations with the business community, that whatever stock of food items we have in this country, none should be exported. All should remain in this country. Yes, we should do that.
Omar of the Standard.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's not Omar Wali, huh? Yeah.
In your speech, you mentioned UDP plans, of course, to help government one may want to know how we will people will jump to the conclusion that this is a tactic to their gains. How do you
A tactic to?
For political gains.
how do you intend to help government?
Well,
And finally, let me just how do you think it will be crucial for the government? How crucial will it be for government to transport and enhance in terms of reporting cases when they do?
well, let me first start with this, the negative content of your question, that this might be taken as a political ways of winning scoring a political point. See, if we want to do that, we will have been on government attacking it, which would be exposing government, and then showing that it's not doing what it's expected to do. But you don't find anything negative in this statement. Everything in this statement is positive, that we want to call, first of all, call on all Gambians to cooperate with the government, and because it is our responsibility to support, in these times of crisis, all of us to support the government, stand by the government. And how we are going to do this, I said, our National Assembly members, our mayors and chairmen of the council will stand by the government in their intervention, help them implement whatever measures they want to take in their intervention. If we want to do political and want government, we will sit back and say we are not going to cooperate with the government. So I think those people, who really think that when a politician says certain things, he does so with objective of scoring a political point or gaining political dividend, I think that we should really be disabusing our minds of that. This is the time that we should all be thinking positive. We have called on everybody to support the government, and this is what we are doing. And what we as a party, I have just told you that I personally have provided opportunities for 16 hand washing stations to be opened throughout the greater Banjul area. That is what we are doing for the now. And what we are going to do for the provinces, we'll also do that. And we are going to be part of the awareness campaign in this hand washing. Of course, you go to what is this place? It's not brief. Fatou, you go to is it not Fantumbu? Bantundi. You go to Bantundi, there are no taps. There are no taps in Bantundi. How do the people of Bantundi, how should they be really adhering or carrying out these health instructions that we are told? Yeah? Of course, we all don't have to wash our hands in the same basin as we do. That's a tradition. When we eat, there's this, we all wash our hands there. In fact, they ask the kids, the smaller ones, to do it last. The elderly people do it first. But these are things that will tell people of Bantundi that you shouldn't do. Go to your jar, get your cup, take your water, and get another person, to pour the water on your hand for you to wash your hands, or use the kettles. See? These are things that we, as a party, we are going to ask our local government authorities to embark on that awareness campaign to help the government in it, because this is a matter that affects each and every one of us. The coronavirus. The coronavirus will not do a distinction between United Democratic Party supporter, NPPP, GDP, or whatever. It will not. So let us disabuse our minds of the fact that when politicians say things, they're doing so for political gain. You can easily detect that from statements. These are I don't think there's anything here that would suggest that we really want to pay political gain. We're doing all these things pro patria. That's all.
The other part of this question is government's credibility report.
We can only urge government to be transparent. We can only urge government to be transparent because, after all, it is in the interest of government to be transparent. If there are 500 cases of coronavirus, we should say so that our weak health system, health delivery system, can get support from those who are endowed with resources, both human and material, to come to our aid. But if you downplay it, it will cause havoc and we will not get assistance from anywhere. I'm sure government will be responsible. Government will not really sweep anything under the carpet. They'll be very transparent. I think so. I have confidence in the Minister of Health, who is a professional, and his approach to these things will be very professional, very transparent. And that's what I believe in, and I think the government of the Gambia will certainly not do anything that will compromise the transparency that is needed in this matter.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press, for your time and for the very insightful questions you asked. This press briefing has come to a close. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Except Diwali.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la 2020 lañ wax de. Waaw. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan, Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek. Loo lañ soxlaati rek. Maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jaama yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal ba la ka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi defee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw skincare plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentee tamit si ay dàlla man waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner, Kiwi Eye, the whole range, Lighten Up Gold, Tomatine. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on and on. lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox. Skincare plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu ngi United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes, you know, fragrances, men's shirts, accessories. We do dresses as well. We do blouses. I mean, we do shoes. Name it, we do them. Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection. Zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème yu picca boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii